Back in the saddle. Looking for a little affection. Oh, it's New York Giants talk time. Why? Because
Mara has come down from Mount Olympus and said, "You may draft a quarterback."
I love the Giants. Because you know what? We don't want to just give away our draft plans. That would just be crazy. So John Mara, the owner, of course, comes out and says, hey, listen, if there's a quarterback you guys like, you have my blessing, Dominus Dominus, to take him. You do.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You do.
We missed the bus. They missed the bus. Be brave, huh, John? When's the next bus?
We have the blessing of the Mara to go take a quarterback. So for those that do not feel, what's up, Blazin? What's up, Michael? For those that do not, Dory Jackson is still a free agent. For those that do not believe or understand or comprehend or have the rationale that think that John Mara isn't in some type of total control of the New York Football Giants, we're a little crazy then. When else have you seen when else have you seen an owner outside of maybe Jerry Jones come out and say, another day of Giant time, submitted for your approval? I mean, seriously, this is the Twilight Zone. Where have you ever seen another owner come out and say, you know what? Yeah, if there's a quarterback I love it, because if there's a quarterback they're interested in, they want to take, they have my blessing. Really? This is where we're at. This is where we're at now. Oh, I mean, it's just crazy, though. It really is. Because you've had this owner who basically came out 2 years ago, not even, and said, we've done everything to screw this kid up. Then you give him $160 million and the wheels fell off the bus. Then you only win 6 games. And then we're going to get him talking about Dable. And this whole conversation with Dable and his demeanor is a little interesting, because some moron put on Twitter, and this person is a moron, plain and simple. Stupid is as stupid does. That this reminds him of Tom Coughlin. This whole thing with Dable. This is like a Tom Coughlin scenario. Tom Coughlin then went on to win 2 Super Bowls. Tom Coughlin wasn't called out for being a child and acting childish. Tom Coughlin had already built a winning organization at Boston College. He had already built a winning organization in Jacksonville. When he came over to the Giants, Tom Coughlin couldn't relate to the players. And Michael Strahan had to come out and say, hey, listen, lighten up a little bit. Brian Dable is being called out for acting like a nut on the sidelines at times. Huge difference. And for the moronic people to sit there and think to themselves, this is just like the Coughlin scenario. This is it. This is a Super Bowl push. Oh, my God. And this fucking moron's supposed to be a content creator. I love when people tag me on Twitter, because the shit just gets me riled up. The stupidity gets me riled up. And I get worried because this is the type of person that they have younger people following them. And they're going to believe this shit. And it's only going back 2007, so it's not like it's ancient history, like 86. Remember when 86? I didn't remember when 86 didn't used to be ancient. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me, some of the stuff that you see. And then you're supposed to sit there and be like, oh, okay. In my big mouth, I can't sit there and say, I can't sit there and be like, I mean, I gotta, when someone said it to me, I have to respond. I don't know why. It's just one of those stupid things in my mind. Oh, but then for him to just come out and say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. We can do this. I love this song, because this is gonna be the Mara's new Fear of the Dark. Submitted for your approval, John Mara, and his inability to keep his mouth shut. But why don't we just give up with the draft plans? It's okay. Why don't we just do that? Anyone with a camera and a microphone can be a content creator. Well, evidently, I fall into that trap. Oh, but it's just one of those things. You look at this scenario, you look at this situation, and you're just kind of like, everyone talked about Dave Gettleman and the gold jacket guy. He's a gold jacket guy, so we can't pass on that shit. And then I laugh because then everyone's like, well, Dave, he's giving up the whole enchilada in reference to what's going on. But then the mayor comes out and says, well, if there's a guy they like, they can do it. I'll be okay with that. The owner influence on this team now is deafening. Wellington knew when to step away. After the miracle of the Meadowlands, Wellington knew to step away and turn over football operations to a professional. John's got to learn the same thing. I got to play this thing, though, with Brian Dable, though. This kind of makes me laugh. Hold on, if you can hear him.
Sometimes he wishes you would tone it down. Changes how you interact with your staff.
Turn it down, staff.
Yeah, look, I talk to John every day. I talk to my staff every day. Look, every year there's a self-evaluation process that goes on, whether I was a position coach, a coordinator, in this case, a head coach. I'm a very passionate person, but yeah, there's times where I wish I handled things a little bit differently, certainly. So you continue to grow, you continue to evolve. And
the giant organization itself just makes a mockery of itself in its own stupidity. Because evidently there has been problems with Dable and his temperament, and I love it because when Merrick came out and said, I've talked to him, I've seen him with his coaches, I've seen him in meetings, he seems okay at times. Let's just not talk about the wink shit. Let's just not bring that up. Why would we want to bring that up? It's embarrassing repeatedly when we do these things. So evidently, and I love it because John Mara then comes out again and says, well, if he gets into these situations again where I see him being a little nutty, I'm going to have to step in and say something. So you've already talked to him about it. How much worse can we look as an organization? I mean, is there like a limit? Is there like a limit on how bad we can be as an organization? I mean, seriously, I'm not, this isn't a rhetorical question. This is an actual honest question. And then we're going to get into some of these rule changes. Because this is what football has become.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll pick you up a sundress and a parasol, and you can just sashay your pretty little self around the town square.
That's going to be football. The hip drop tackle rule, the kickoff rule, the rule that you can't hit people on Sunday. I guess a lot of people haven't heard about that rule yet. You can't tackle people on Sunday. That's no longer a valid thing you can do. And I love it because then smart teams. And we don't rank up. We don't rank up with that. Smart teams figured out this rule already for the kickoff. Like Pittsburgh, what did they do? The first thing they did when this rule came down, we're gonna go grab Cordell Patterson. And the Giants are just sitting there like, oh, we got a season. If anyone comes out again, Giant-wise, and says to this fan base that we are going to have to wait and see what we have, and we're going to have to wait until about week 4 or 5, I think I'm going to blow an embolism. I truly am, because it just doesn't make sense what they talk about here. It really don't. At watching football since '76, watching the Giants in '76, I've seen the bad, I've seen the good, I've seen the deranged. And this equals the deranged. Let's see what we got on the chat already. Mike Lee says, make sure you hit the like button. Mike Lee also says, the question is, what will he do with it? That knowledge? That ability? Joe Schoen has the thumbs up from Mara. You could go get a quarterback. Listen, we've been in quarterback purgatory for 5 years. We still got to have to owe this kid another $22 million minimum in 2025. But you, Shane, can get yourself a quarterback. Pow, pow, pow. Mike Lee says, it is one thing to get a franchise quarterback. It's another to draft a backup. Joe, do the right thing. Spike Lee said it best. Do the right thing, Joe. Get your franchise quarterback, or try to get a franchise quarterback. Try for the love of God. Because if we have to go through year 7 with Daniel Jones, most teams see the error of their ways in 2 years, sometimes 3. We're quadrupling down on our stupidity. And then our owner comes out and says, we've done everything we could to screw this kid up. Everything. Then he talks to the owner's meeting. He goes, well, you know, if they want a quarterback, they can get one. I mean, do you just sit there sometimes and you just think to yourself, what the hell is going on?
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Stupid is, stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
Big Blue Forever says, let's get it on. Let's get ready to rumble. I could be the new Michael Buffer. Joe Rev says, hello, fellows. What's going on? Michael says, what is the status of Adoree Jackson? No one seems to be talking about him. Thanks. He's still a free agent. I don't know what the hell's going on with Adoree Jackson, please. I mean, I really don't. I mean, it's interesting. I thought he would have had more of a market. But there's got to be something else going on when the entire league stays away from a guy. I mean, there's got to be something going on. You know, he's going to end up with the Eagles. You know, that's going to be a rule. He's going to be with the Eagles. And I love it because people are like, well, he's a good fit for the Giants. Yeah, no shit. He was a good fit for the Giants a while ago, but he's also come out and said he wants to play for a Super Bowl contender. And I don't think New York is it. What's up, Blazin? What's up, Tim? Big Chris says, what's up, Tim? Another day in Giants Twilight Zone, man. I mean, seriously. Wait, we'll do this one. Submitted for your approval. New York Giants. The Twilight Zone. Playing my piano today. Oh, it really is just crazy. I don't hate the idea of Drew Lock being the coached up by Brian Dable and letting him start over Shit Jones and draft quarterback prospects. Just saying. Here's the problem. Drew Lock couldn't beat out Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock couldn't beat out Geno Smith twice. Now, I know Daniel Jones sucks.
That's what she said.
But here's the question. What gives us any indication that he could beat out Daniel Jones or hell, even Tommy DeVito? I have no. I am breaking news. Mara is in support to draft Tim as a quarterback. I could be a quarterback. Listen, I could suck just as bad as Daniel Jones.
That's what she said.
Giants will definitely draft the quarterback at 6 or move up. I hope they move up to 3. I hope they do. Hope New England's truly serious. It only took Mara 6 years to. It only took him 6 years to realize this. It only took him 6 years of stupidity to realize this. Breaking news: the Evil's voodoo is finally over. Zach Attack is mentioning the fact that the cap genius, in reference to the Philadelphia Eagles, what's his name? Rosenberg. I think his name is Rosenberg. He's actually left the organization. He was the right-hand man, or the right-hand capologist, we'll say, to our old buddy, to what's his name? To Howie. So it's Jake Rosenberg. He's the salary executive of Howie Roseman's, a longtime aide. He's leaving the Eagles. I don't see where he's going though, Zach. There's any information about where he's going? Because maybe the cap voodoo is going to go on. Maybe they'll no longer figure out how to do the cap. What's up, Irish Rover in his house? Mr. McCormick says they have my coffee going second. Is it a smoke screen? Mitchell Trubisky went second. Someone actually traded up for Mitchell Trubisky. The insanity of that should allow you to sink into your brain for a moment. Somebody literally traded for Mitchell Trubisky. The Bears, of course. Now they have Caleb Williams coming into town. So is there a possibility he could go 2? I would love to see Jaden Daniels or Drake May fall to the Giants. I would love to see that. I'd love to see Jaden Daniels more. I know a lot of people aren't going to like that pick. They're going to want more of the May pick, but I don't want another Eli Manning, Daniel Jones 3.0. And I kind of think that I keep thinking Drake May is a more athletic, stronger arm, Daniel Jones type quarterback. Mike Lee says, grasping at straws. Bet he is a DJ lover. Mr.
Lover.
Zacatech says the 2003 Giants and the 2019 Lions are very similar, with 2 similar coaches being carried by a past talent, by great past talent. Oh, I agree. We have a video coming out about, I have a video coming out tomorrow called Carbon Copy. Make sure you stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun. And go to NewYorkGiantsLive.com. We got a bunch of articles out there as well, too. Davey says, anyone with a camera and a microphone can be a content creator. I mean, how do you literally sit there and say, as a content creator, and you call yourself a content creator, a giant content creator, that Brian Dable coming out and saying what he did about himself and his temperament is just like Tom Coughlin. And Tom Coughlin won 2 Super Bowls. Just stop being stupid and pandering to the lowest common denominator for the likes, the clicks, the bleeps, and the boobs. Please. One has nothing to do with the other. One built a franchise in Jacksonville and took him to the AFC Championship game in his second year. He built a organization, or he built a program at Boston College. And you were going to sit there and have comparisons of the resume between these two guys because he came out and said there's a problem with his personality. And yes, Coughlin's problem wasn't with his personality. Coughlin's problem was his being able to relate to players. And Strahan straightened him out. Mara didn't. And for you to post something stupid like that, oh my God, I just fucking hate people. Jeff says, what's up, Timmer? What's up, Big Don in his house? Mr. Alvarez says, I know the Giants are trying to do smoke screens about who we're going to grab, but it's so obvious we're going to take a quarterback or a wide receiver. Yeah, it's not that difficult. We're going to throw everyone off. We're taking a punter. You know what? Don't put it past the Giants. The Giants, you think with Mara, my dream of him being signed as quarterback with a lot of money and sits on the bench. Taylor, that's a good dream. I like that dream. Mike Lee says, not the Jets. Jets getting, we've passed the Jets. We have rocketed past the Jets. We really have. We used to make fun of the Jets. We used to make fun of a lot of teams in this. We used to make fun of the Eagles and never winning a Super Bowl. Then they won one. And then we make fun of them for them never going to Super Bowls, and all they do is go to Super Bowls. They may lose them, but all they do is go to Super Bowls. Todd says Barkley went for 3,000 yards in Philadelphia because he can't tackle people. I mean, you can't tackle people. You literally cannot tackle people anymore. You literally can't. These rules, and like I said, and then they come out and say, well, it's going to be like the helmet-to-helmet rule. We're not really going to enforce it, but you're going to get fined, or you're going to get a letter. But then you read the rule, and we read the rule ad nauseum the other day. It really has nothing to do as a hip drop tackle, because what happens to Edwards, the tight end with the Ravens, he got dragged down from behind, and it doesn't even mention this. That's why so many players are so confounded by this rule, because one of the first parts of the rules are you cannot grab a player with your hands, or you cannot tackle them with both arms.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll pick you up a sundress and a parasol, and you can just sashay your pretty little self around the town square.
It is the 2-touch hand rule now. Dr. Garrett says, howdy, Tim. What's going on, police? Todd says, kickers are going to be blowing out hammies, adjusting, not just blasting into the crowd. Oh, my God. You're going to have to almost adjust the kicking game. And I think you can adjust the kicking game to basically having some pop-ups. But you got to put it within the 20. It's just, and it's again, it's supposed to alleviate the injuries. So we're going off to the USFL to look at what they've done, because they are the bastion hope in reference to things that have worked. Mike Lee says Giants have Eric Gray. What could possibly go wrong? He's the Gray Ghost. Oh my God, what could possibly go wrong? Devin Singletary at 5'7", 5'8", whatever he is, plus Eric Gray. Yeah, we're not drafting a running back. I don't hate the kickoff rule. I was kind of tired of the constant touchbacks, which I don't understand, because the touchbacks to me would seem like a better way to prevent injuries. I like the XFL kickoff rule. It's better than the alternative of starting at 25, no kickoff. I like that rule. Was it the first XFL? Yeah, it was the first iteration of the XFL. I think it was the XFL, where they had two guys, and they had the midfield, and everyone stood at like the 45, and then the two guys. It was kind of like rugby. They both ran at the ball at the same time, and whoever got that ball, who only got the ball. Oh, that was great. That's kind of like wrestling. That's a manly thing. But then someone got hurt and they stopped doing it. Collapse Silverado. The organization as a whole is like giving a toddler paper and a box of crayons, and the toddler starts eating the crayons and crumbling up the paper. Yeah, it's about right. That about sums it up. The problem with Mayer is that he has handled a billion-dollar corporation without ever having a practical experience, leadership experience, or experience running a major company like many other employees. You're not wrong. The next rule change will be the defenders will have to play one arm behind the back. That's going to be the new rule, guys. You got to play with one arm behind your back, and you have to close one eye. And you got to go like this. Jersey Beaner. What's up? What's up, Tim? Can we thank Jersey Shore Tommy for winning those meaningless games now? We have said this a million times before, but Jersey, everyone loved it. Everyone loved the Tommy thing, except for me. Because I'm old and crotchety. But I also saw that we were barely beating bad teams. New England should have beat us, but Belichick had the ultimate tank, non-tank, going for the game-winning field goal in the rain, rookie kicker. Instead of running it right up into midfield, playing against the wind, you run it to the right hash. You run it all the way to the right hash. Right when he did that, I looked at it and I said to my wife, that's fucking brilliant. He tanked by not tanking. He gave his kicker like a 40% chance of making that field goal. It was brilliant. Jersey Shore Tommy.
Wait for the beat to drop. Chiropractor day. I'm not ruining him.
It's chiropractor day. I'm not ruining myself for that. Blaze, quarterback room, running back room, wide receiver room, all the upgrades and or playmakers. That's it. That's all we need. Quarterback room, running back room. We're gonna need a tight end too if Waller retires. Even if Waller is here, we're gonna need a tight end. And everyone tells me Daniel Bellinger again is gonna be this in year 3 is gonna become Mark Bavaro. And I still love it because people give half truths. That's what I love. They give half truths. They give half the story. They say, well, he only had minimum amount of receptions, but he's got like a 98% catch ratio. Yeah, it's like off of 3-yard passes. And you failed them. And they're like, well, plus he had to stay in and block a lot on that right side. Even with him blocking as much as he did, that right side of the line was still trash. So what does that really tell me about Bellinger's blocking skills? That the line got no better when they kept Bellinger in. Am I the only one that noticed this? I can't remember what game I was at, and I think it was with Big L. And Big L says to me, you know what they need to do? They need to keep Bellinger in to block. When I looked at him, I said, they have for like 60% of the game so far. He's like, oh, really? Then he started watching. He goes, oh, my God, you're right. They are. Shaking my head. DJ, a waste of cap space, a waste of space and cap space. Todd says if they don't draft a quarterback this year, they may as well announce they won't try again until Jones's contract is done. People are like, well, we'll just wait till 2025. Who's the QBs in 2025? I mean, really? Hold on. I love when people text me when I'm busy. All right, where was I at? I'm sorry. All right, Blackbird. What's up, Blackbird? Blackbird says, Barkley lied. He claimed he wanted to be a Giant for life, but said his first option was the Texans. Yeah, I mean, I would lie too. I would lie. You don't want to be a Giant for life. Would you want to be a Giant for life? I don't even want to be a season ticket holder. But I'm stupid. John Mayer needs a drink-free medium Pepsi. Shut the fuck up. I agree. Daryl says the most Giant thing to do would be to take Spencer Rattler in the 2nd or 3rd round after Maris counts. Oh my God. If they literally would do that, Daryl, why would you even say that to me? Why would you even put that in the stratosphere? Why is that in the ether? Why? Because now you know That's what's going to happen. Mr. Weaver says, "Good afternoon, Tim. What's the point of having a GM if your quarterback if the quarterback you didn't draft is still there from the previous regime? I get it. It's his quarterback now, but having to ask permission, can I draft a quarterback it is truly wild. In my day, we're gonna have an old man moment. In my day, kiddies, you didn't really see general managers come out and say, well, I gotta ask the owner. I got to ask the owner and make sure it's okay with the owner if I go out and draft a quarterback. But nowadays, it's like the owner says it's okay, so it's okay. Todd says it's weird he's a starter or at least top-level nickelback. I don't know what's going on with Adoree Jackson. For the rest of the league not to touch him, there's something going. There's something there. Raymond says, I'm seeing a lot of neighbors at 6 and Penix in the second round. Would you be okay with that? I did a whole video about it a month and a half ago. I love how this is a new thing. I love it. And Raymond, I'm not picking on you, but I love it. This is a new thing. Like no one's ever heard of this before. Oh my God, we could take this guy here. We could take this guy. We could go grab neighbors. Then we could turn around and we can go get Penix. Yeah, there was a guy that did. There was a guy that said that a bunch of times. Also did a video called, Can the Giants Fix Their Offense in the First 2 Rounds? The answer is yes. And then I said another video did Malik Neighbors to the Giants at 6. Reasons why it could be happen. I did that a month ago. And then I also did another video called Michael Penix, the perfect fit for the New York Giants. They did that a month ago. But all of a sudden now people are like, we could draft Neighbors, trade back up and get Penix. Like this is the greatest thing since fucking sliced bread. Some of us have been talking about that shit for over a month. How you can fix the Giant offense in 2 moves, and then you can concentrate on all of your other problems. Barkley also threw his quarterback under the bus last year. How did he do that? Tim, the Giants are a Super Bowl contender if it isn't John Mara's dreams, though. I was joking with James Williams because we were talking about the Giants, and we were saying something about Mara, and he was talking about how it was a bizarro world. And I said, well, maybe they're in the Apple virtual headset. So maybe they just don't know what's really going on anymore. Todd says, when you're on your 3rd team in 5 years, I'm not sure you can be coached up. That's true. MK5 says, do you think if they drafted a quarterback, they cut, they cut Locke and keep Tom? No, you cut Tommy. You don't just cut Tommy. You throw him. you throw him into the Jersey Shore. Well, DJ never defended Barkley like Barkley did for him. I agree. I mean, it's the end of the day. At the end of the day, Barkley's gone, and I wish him well. But it's just we've just reached a crescendo as Giants fans with players, and I don't know anymore. Jones is better than Drew Lock. Tyrod Taylor is better than Drew Lock. I don't know if Jones is better than Drew Lock. I really can't say that. Blazen said, watch someone will trade up and give up the farm for J.J. McCarthy. They did it with Mitchell Trubisky, so why not? Why not hit the like button while you're in the chat, too? Don't cost nothing. Caleb Williams is soft and egotistical. Well, we don't know that. We know he's egotistical, sure. But wouldn't you want your franchise quarterback to have a big ego? Everybody loves it with Kayvon Thibodeau. Everybody loves it. And we, Kayvon can literally disappear for 6 weeks and only have a half a sack and get blocked by a quarterback.
Hey kids, look over there. Who is it? It's Kayvon, the friendly pass rusher. Oh no, now he's gone.
But that's okay. He did until DJ got paid. That's when DJ got paid. He never defended Barkley. Barkley's gone. What do people care? There's no Brian Dable's nowhere near Tom Coughlin. Coughlin had a resume, and he had 1 Super Bowls with the Giants. He did. Coughlin won games, right? That's what this is. I mean, I don't know, guys. It's just a stupid shit, and I know people send it to me. I know people send it to me because I know they want me to get mad, and I always fall into that trap. Yo, chilling at my retirement job, listening to Truth. Ruth. What's up, Steve? What's your retirement job? This is my retirement job. Hope yours is better than mine. That's not true. Everyone here's awesome. Because I got so many damn smart people that watch the show. It's unbelievable. Watch, they listen, they leave great comments. Blackbird says the Jets are sadly a better team than us. They are. Blackbird also says the NFL is starting to become unwatchable and unentertaining. AB Giants trading up. I don't see why not. I mean, I would. If you can get up to 3. You swap picks, swap first rounders. I've seen some other trade scenarios. People like, you swap first rounders, you give next year's first rounder, the fourth rounder, fifth rounder, 2029 third rounder, and a 2040 first rounder. And don't go by the calculator. I love people go, well, by the ESPN draft calculator. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little hint. I'm going to give you a hint that you guys already know, but some of the people that are watching and listening probably don't know. ESPN puts these things out so you go on their website and build traffic, and they will have you watch ads. So when they build these things like the trade calculator, and what's this trade worth? The trade is worth whatever an NFL team wants to pay. You throw that calculator out the window. Whatever a team wants to give you, that's what a trade is worth. Little heads up there. What's up? What's going on, Tim? Everything's going on. It's just one of those days. Devin seems like a good back, but he's not Saquon Barkley. No, hell no, he's not. The Big Pimp says John Mayer DJ still be here to compete. It's just ridiculous. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. No, you really can't. Matthew, what's up, Tim? What's up, OBB fam? Just drop in and say, what's up? Working as always. Well, you got me in the background. I hope so. That's got to be somewhat entertaining. I know some people think I'm entertaining. I don't know why. Blackbird says, I'm waiting for the rules that tackling is eliminated. Tackling has now been eliminated in the NFL. It really has. Patriots they really did throw the game against us. It was the most brilliant. Belichick, even without Brady at that moment, was brilliant. It was literally, if you wanted to investigate a game in reference to point shaving or someone throwing the game, you got to go to that game. You are driving, putting your kicker in position to win you the game. You are playing for draft position. This is why Belichick plays chess, why Joe Schoen plays pinochle. I don't even know how to play pinochle, so I shouldn't even use that as a bad example. Tiddlywinks. There, we'll go with that. In the rain, rookie kicker, instead of lining the kick up between the hashes for a straight shot, he runs it all the way to the right hash. And he runs it to the outside of the right hash. I swear to God, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is the most brilliant non-tank move that I've ever seen in my life. Matthew says, at what point does DJ get benched to avoid the injury bonus destroying our hopes of cutting him realistic time frame? I'd bench him now. I'd bench him. I wouldn't even wait. I'd be like, Drew Lock is our starter. And I would say it with a deadpan face. Drew Lock will be starting for the New York Football Giants. Remember the time Osa Umenyiora hugged Vince Young and then let him go, and Vince Young ran for like 15 yards. Oh my God, that's right. Was it Umenyiora though that did that? I thought it was Matthias Kiwanuka. But I do remember that. He had him in his grip. Thought he heard the whistle, and continuous motion, just let him go, and no one blew the whistle. NFL Zags will play on Christmas now. What is your opinion on that? Didn't they play on Christmas last year? Waller is just Kenny G in disguise. He could be. He literally could be. He literally could be Kenny G in disguise. Blackbird says, what are they saying? Jones probably want us to be ready for week 1. Who will they be starting quarterback for week 1? You figure Drew Lock or whoever John Mara gives the blessing to allow the Giants to go out and draft. So whoever that is, I don't know who that would be. Zach says, do you remember the 49ers game when Bellinger? Oh my God, I do remember the 49er game. Zach is 100% right. Bosa, and it's not fair to use a comparison of Bellinger and Bosa, because on a straight one-on-one matchup, Bosa is going to kill Bellinger almost every time. But the problem was this: it wasn't a matchup. Zach is right. Bellinger missed. He missed. He didn't even get a chance to block him. He missed. So I think that's I think that's the funniest shit in the world. I forgot about that, Zach. Good job. Nice, Zach coming in 6-11 with Daniel Jones this season. Big Blue Forever says super chat for a read. Other content creators suck. I think it's other content creators suck. You know, it's funny. Someone sent me a again, it's on Twitter. I got to stop reading my Twitter DMs because someone sent me a thing from a giant content creator from yesterday, and on the bottom of the screen they had super chats now available. Have your comment featured with a super chat. Just read fucking people's comments. Are you that hard up for cash? I donate my shit. Are you that hard up? Really? If this is part of your income and you're not having like 500,000 subscribers and making a shit ton of money and you're doing this for $2.99 so you can read comments? This is the type of fan base that we have in regards to people that are supposed to be supporting us. And that note, which is kind of funny, we're going to go to the big old super chat by Mr. Cutthroat. I would have read it anyways. I think Giant fans live a comic book in Cinderella fantasy where the underdog wins the championship. So it's like Little Giants. What's his name? Rick Moriarty and Ed O'Neill with the O'Shane brothers. When I forget the girl that comes in and destroys everyone. It really is a fantasy sometimes. 7-2 is a fantasy. And I always remember the line from Cinderella Man. When Max Bear and Max Bear is talking to Cinderella Man. And he tells people, this is the real world and people die, because he calls him Cinderella Man. So he lives a fantasy. And he says, this is the real world. And, people die in fairy tales. I'm going to give up my day job to become a heartthrob. Where was I? 6-11. I got to go back here. Danny Crazy Eyes, but thank you for the super chat, big Mr. Cutthroat. Danny Jones still stinks going into 6 years. It takes us 6 years for it. He still stinks. Shannon Sharp and Barkley should block Marin's number. If they really want me, they could have paid me, not the quarterback I carried. He did carry it. He did carry the team. It was the Matthias Kiwanuka who missed the tackle. Thank you, in the Cutthroat. Thank you. I didn't think it was Tuck. I did believe it. Thank you. I did believe on that play, and I remember the Vince Young play. And I remember everything about Vince Young now because he just got the shit knocked out of him in a bar fight. If you didn't watch it, he got sucker punched though. He got sucker punched, so that doesn't really count. But it was. Thank you, Cutthroat. It was Matthias Kiwanuka. It was not OCU Manura. I remember that. I remember that play too to this day because he literally had him wrapped up, and I guess he thought the whistle blew and he let him go. What do we got here? But thank you, my friend. How you doing today? But that's it. Penix is there in a second. I don't think Penix is getting past the Raiders. I keep saying I think Penix is going 13. Blackbird says, or we could draft Marvin Harrison Jr. if he's not off the board. The only problem is, what are you going to do? Literally, what are you going to do? Who is going to throw him the ball? Drew Lock? Don't worry, guys. Drew Lock can dance. We've already did the white man dance last time, but Drew Lock can dance. That's where everyone's like, oh, look at him. He's dancing on the sidelines. Yeah. Oh, God. Mike Lee says, I think MP will be there in the second round, though. He's not going to be there. He's not going to be there whatsoever. Mr. McCormick says, now that the content creator is saying that, he was just now that content creator is saying that he was just joking. Really? Joking about the whole Tom Coughlin thing? 6 quarterbacks will go in the first 13 picks. The first 3 are obvious with McCarthy, Knicks of the Broncos, and Penix to the Raiders. Yeah, you keep hearing that the Broncos are in love with Bo Nix. Well, good luck. Take him off the board so the Giants can't take him. Mr. Alvarez says, everyone keeps saying Penix will fall. I don't see that. The injury history might keep him out of the first, but there's no shot Penix will fall to the mid-second. Hell no. You're right. Kayvon has not been backed up, has not backed up his egotistical at all. He came in the league saying he was going to get a sack a game. That didn't work out too well. Tom Brady also has an ego. He does have an ego. Tom Brady has an ego. Who was the content creator? Kid Blue. You want me to say it? I'll say it. I fear no one. So I'm going to say who it was. That's the idiot that said that Tom Coughlin and Brian Dable are the same. And I love it because you're right. Because there was another idiot content creator that posted something stupid like that and got called out for a second. It was like, I was just being sarcastic. You guys all fell for it. No, you fucking moron. You're being truthful. Be truthful, man up, and say you fucking did it and stop being a moron. How about that? Problem solved. Diet Ghost said, I bet Patrick, but no wonder nobody likes me. Patrick Mahomes says, Kelsey, I bet Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey has egos. Comes with the talent. I agree with it. Steve says, nah, yours is awesome. Thank you. Being awesome is hard.
That's what she said.
Oh, what do we got here? Damn, Neighbors is killing his pro day already. He's going to be the first receiver. I know he's going to. I don't think Neighbors going to be. Marvin Harrison's still going to be number one off the board. Unless there's some truly red flags. Listen, Marvin Harrison Sr., because he lives around the Philadelphia area too, and he works around the Philadelphia area. He's a little bit of a nut. He's muy lente loca. A lente loco. My retirement job is to be a capologist for the New York Giants. My qualifications are I can do math and good in Excel. You think I can be hired? What, can you do pivot tables? You can do a pivot table. I have to talk about it. It says to Blackbird. It's true that Marvin Harrison's truck is stop and dropping. I think it is. But I also think a lot of it's because of the fact that he doesn't want to go out and do the pro day. I think a lot of it's that, because a lot of people are like, well, we're speculating that he's got some type of issue because he doesn't want to go out and do any of the exercises and compete for us. Well, first of all, I've said it before, especially with Caleb Williams, and he had his pro day. If you are a quarterback who is a projected first overall pick, here's something funny. Where do you go but down? Marvin Harrison Jr., you think you're going to be the first wide receiver off the board? Why would you do anything to jeopardize that? Daniel Jones sucks with or without the offensive line for real. I never saw anything special about him on the field. 8 good games in 5 years. Wow, 8? 8? Was there some preseason games thrown in there? In 5 years, they paid him like he's a franchise quarterback. Dr. Garrett says, you can't put your body weight on a quarterback is the worst rule change of all of them, just making two-hand touch. They should literally just make a two-hand touch. They literally...
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll pick you up a sundress and a parasol, and you can just sashay your pretty little self around the town square.
And that's football. Come on, Mike. I have zero faith in the GM, head coach, and the owner. That's it. Those are the only ones you have no faith in. That's it. Wow. Until they show me differently, nothing I see so far instills any faith in this current organization. Well, I think Mike just about wrapped that up. That's the post of the day. We have to have a sound effect for that, but I'm too lazy to pick up sound effects. Tim, in your opinion, do you think we will have to give up the third pick while considering we have to probably we can't outbid the Vikings? If the Vikings want to get to 3, they have the assets. We are not going to. I mean, if we outbid the Vikings, we're going to be giving up the farm. And if you give up the farm for JJ McCarthy, Mike Lee says that Joe Shane's probably playing Candyland. I'm going to tell you something. Candyland is tough. It's tough, man. You land in that caramel swamp and you don't roll a 3 or whatever to get out. Candyland takes strategy. So, Mike, you're saying that Joe Shane is in the caramel swamp? If the Giants miss out on their quarterback in the first or second round, an option would be popular but viable would be Zach Wilson for a 6th round pick. No. No. We've said it before. Sometimes another man's garbage is just another man's trash. No more trash. You've had enough of the trash. Todd Taylor says, I think Bill was half tanky, just playing Cazones and Zappa. He had better. It was the most beautiful tank in the world, Belichick. That was such a beautiful tank. Kevin got pushed out of. Oh my God, we're not even going to talk about the Raider games. We're not going to talk about the first games earlier in the season when he kept getting shoved to. We did a whole video about how he's getting pushed out to the sideline, that he's looping way too far, and then finally we had said how many times he's got to cut it back inside, do a little swim move, go back inside the tackle. Then he started getting some sacks. It was Kiwanuka. Yep, I do remember that. Yes, it was Kiwanuka. Blackbird says we should just keep Tyrod. Yeah, well, he's with the Jets. Just cut DJ post June 1st. At this point, we don't care about my monitor going out. We don't care that my monitor is still out. All right, we don't care. Let's see, June 1st, we don't care because the Broncos obviously didn't care with the $95 million in dead cap space. The problem is with the Broncos, they have a Super Bowl winning head coach. So he's got more cachet. He's got more time. So they can fuck their franchise over for a year and still be like, well, we still got Sean Payton. He's going to turn this shit around because we're going to go get a quarterback. Giants are in year 3 of another rebuild within a rebuild with the general manager and head coach who are on very thin ice. They can't do that. They have to make something happen, Captain. Make sure you hit the like button. Why? Because it helps, I guess. That's what they tell me. They tell me it helps. I don't see it, but they tell it me. Maybe it's the personality that doesn't help. I can already see DJ getting hurt again and us being broke again next season. I love it because everyone talked about how we had 150. We have 100-something million in cap space in 2025. Yeah, we're down to 68. You're right. DJ gets hurt and he's 50-something million of that 68. We've already wrecked it. Well, no, he'd be 30 extra million. Then we're down to 30. It's like 28 players. What do we got here? Do you think that Waller is waiting to see if they draft a quarterback? If Jones, I would just hang him up. I would just hang him up. I wouldn't wait. If I'm Waller, I hang him up. Why not? Dr. Garrett says, watching the Giants offense is like listening to Kenny G. But it's the smooth sounds of Kenny G, man. Kenny G rocked.
Bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G. 72 million. Not worth it, as you can plainly see.
That was very prophetic, that one, because I did that. I made that sound effect 2 days after we signed him. If Mike Glenn, if we had done like Washington, traded out our 2 best players, we would be drafting a 2. Washington had a beautiful offseason. Some people will be like, well, they signed a bunch of nobodies and some guys that were over the hill. They signed a bunch of guys at team-friendly deals who can help immediately and move the win-loss needle. And they're going to draft a quarterback. And they still had some players. Bellinger pulled a note. A Nate. You're right. A Nate Soldier. He did. Sir, God bless it. God bless Tim and the New York Giants. God bless us all. Everyone. Thank you, sir. Remember when Justin Pugh almost hit Tyrod Taylor, killed every snap he took to left tackle. Justin Pugh was terrible. It was so god-awful. But everyone loved it.
Justin Pugh, off the couch.
You should have fucking stayed there. But like I said, I'm just a bitter old man. Vikings game was a fantasy. The Eagles game was the reality, and so was that Dallas game. Alexander says, I'm being honest, Tim. You are far the most interactive Giant streamer, and that keeps me coming back. Thank you. I would hope it'd be my sterling personality that kept you coming back. I've said this a million times before, guys. And I've said it. I'm going to say it over and over again. I give up my time to do this, of course. But my time is now different time than it was 12, 14, almost 13 years ago now. So I have free time. You give up your free time from your job or your family, or maybe you're with your family, or maybe you're at your job when you're listening, whatever. So you're giving up your time as well to be here. So why should my thought process be? I'm not going to read anything unless it's a super chat, because of the fact that you are giving up your time just as much as I am just to be here, just to talk about the Giants. It doesn't make sense. Emmanuel says, Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? DA says, Tim, you're going to do a send-off video when they cancel Jones's contract. Oh, when they cancel Jones's contract. I've said it before. We are not going to have a send-off video. We are going to have the Daniel Jones dance party. Jones is gone. We're going to be like, come on, everyone. Come on down. Experience the Jones Free Giants. This is what we're going to be doing, guys. We're going to be all around. I'm going to have the lights. I'm going to have the banners. I'm going to have a fog machine, man. We're all going to be like, huh? No more Jones. We're going to be like, dance party. That's what we're going to do. Remember when Justin Pugh almost got Tyrod Taylor killed every snap? Oh, yeah, he did. Cutthroat says, I remember that tackle. I was 15 screaming at my TV. Big Greg in the house. What's up, Big Greg? Wallen says, trade down with the Jets. Take Penix. You don't really trade within your own. You don't really trade within your own team. OG Knockout says, unless they can pull a Denver and bench Jones like they did with Wilson, because he was not waive his injury clause. Nick says, Tim, what's going on? Well, Mayor's an idiot. They evidently talked to Dable about his sideline demeanor. Some content creators think they're extremely foolish by saying now it's playing into a Tom Coughlin situation. Now they're trying to backtrack and deny it. Timmy fell down the well, and Lassie's on the rescue. What's going on, Tim? Been a busy week today. Just got to lunch, ready to hear some OBB. Well, welcome, my friend. As always, Nick. Is entertainer actually a virgin? I'm going to say 50-50. Jose says, Tim, I'm so excited for next season. Daniel Jones, and that's sarcasm.
You're bad.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
24. Jose, next time. Jose. Joseph. I don't know if you're Jose. I saw Quiones. I just automatically assumed Joseph is Jose. Joseph, just remember, next time tell me button 24. Douglas says, I have a better feeling we might be getting a quarterback after what Maris said, but I am not getting my hopes up. Caleb's career dies in Chicago. It could possibly do that. Seriously, don't you learn more by watching game tape than watching a guy run against air? Yes. I've said this a million times and a billion times before. Yes. And don't just watch the highlights. I love when people post just the highlights. It's like, okay, you are taking a snapshot. You are taking 7 plays out of, let's say they ran 50 offensive plays. You took 7 of them. You have to watch all the plays. You got to watch the good. You got to watch the bad. You got to see if the bad was created by the player, or was the bad something someone else did, and how did the player you're watching react? Did they do something better? Did they do something different? Did they have the ability to make something happen out of nothing? It may have been an incompletion. It may have been a fumble. It may have been something, but what was the whole thing? That's just wrong. Let's stop hating on people. At the end of the day, we are all just Giant fans. And I love that comes from, and I love you, ass me. And I love it because it's ass. It's ass to me. That's why I love you. Emmanuel says, why do I have a feeling Joe is going to restructure DJ contract? Then I quit. The NFL needs to copy the Sky Judge. They can't just PI right now. It's true. Barbara says, I need a reason to watch Giants, and drafting a wide receiver in the first round isn't going to do it. That is a great comment. And I wonder about this sometimes. And so I'm just curious about the people in the chat and the people over on Twitter who's giving the thumbs up. If the Giants draft a wide receiver at 6, if they draft an offensive lineman at 6, and they don't pick up quarterback in the second round, and let's say a Penix does fall and then somehow they just pass on Penix, does that move, as a Giant fan, does that move the needle for you? Does that make you say, this 2024 season is really something I'm excited about? Because it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't float my boat. Because I still have the same problem with the quarterback. And I got a problem with potentially a tight end, another 2 wide receivers. I still need some offensive alignment. You could talk about all the people they're bringing in, but you bring in one guy whose scouting report was trips over his own feet, and the other guy's Cam Fleming 2.0. And then you're talking about moving Neal to guard, which would then open up your tackle position. And then if you drafted Penix, he's a lefty, so that right-hand tackle would be his blind side. Pimp says, what is Pimp? Whoa, shoot. Pimp, where'd you go? Let's see here. Let's not go too far. Let's see here. The sad part is the new quarterback is going to have less in the first 2 years because of the trash can Danny on the books. Tim still waiting for the contract to get better. Oh, don't worry. It's going to get better. I heard this is a great deal. I've heard from insiders and giant content creators and people that work in the giant community that this is an awesome fucking deal. I know some of us said, no, it's not. And you could, how many times, guys, I'm going to get a shirt that says it. How many times do we say it? Don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. Because you looked at that deal, you were like, you're not getting out of this till 2025, and you're still not getting out of it unscathed in 2025, which pushes your franchise back another at least 3 to 4 years, because then you have to go out and find a quarterback. Everything that we thought was going to happen happened. And that's scary. Daniel Jones literally will be a 3-time coach killer. Chase Young destroyed Justin Pugh. That's true. I wouldn't be surprised if we finished last in the East. I think we might. I literally think we might. Let's not go too far, Tim. Go too far where? Where'd I go now? I always go too far. There is no line. I like when people say, don't cross this line. I don't ever see a line. Maybe I'm old. I need glasses. My worry about Shane is when we got him, he was already the way how the Bills were built. Outside of Josh Young, that's not a good team. I like Adam Peters from San Francisco and Poles back better in 2022. I thought we should have. I thought we should have got Ryan Poles. I said that. I did a video that he was my choice because I liked the way he worked in Kansas City. I liked some of the things he'd done in his career, but we're in year 3 of Shane, so there's nothing we can do about it now. Just give me Malik. I'll be done with it. Send a 7 to Malik and you'll get Malik. There you go. I would do that. Robert says, Tim, do you know what the problem is? No. When Shane and Dable got there, Mara did not let them do what they came here to do because I don't think they wanted Jones. That was Mara. Then you don't take the job. If you have a feeling, if you have an idea that you are going to fail because the owner is forcing something on you, you wait till next year to get a job. You go back to Buffalo. You pad your resume for another year. Then they always say you don't pass up on jobs. Sometimes you have to. How many times in life have you passed up how many times in life has people passed up on a job because it wasn't the right opportunity? I've done it. It's not the right time. It may be more money, but it's not the right time. It's not the right opportunity. Tim is going to streak when they cut Jones. No, it's going to be a dance party. Crazy Danny. It says, remember when we last had a decent quarterback in 2018? Old man Eli put up 4,000 yards. Danny Jones never has done that. He hasn't. 18, Daniel Jones sucks. Let's have an old school block party. We will. I like it. Tim, you need to do a 2024 hype video. That would be epic. I might one day. I have all this editing software. I have all this fancy equipment. I might one day. But that seems like effort, guys. That seems no, it doesn't. Chicago is better ran than us. Caleb will be. Oh, Caleb's going to be fine in Chicago. I just don't think Caleb's going to come out like gangbusters like people think he is, but I think Caleb's going to be fine. John Mara said the MetLife has way too many events to switch to Giants and grass. He said that the state of New Jersey had to approve any changes through DEP, which people forget. And they're also having the World Cup there. And I can't remember what kind of field they play on. Is it some kind of a natural surface they play on in the World Cup that they have to change the field out for? I don't know what that thing is called. You go outside and it's like this green stuff that like grows from the ground. I don't know what it's called. We'll call it grass. What's up, Frank? Smells like JJ. I actually have a signed autograph of DJ. How much do you think it's worth? Hung Dave, you've asked this question before, and I felt bad for you. And out of the goodness of my heart, I will give you $1.99 for that autograph. You don't have to send it to me. I will give you $1.99 to burn that autograph. I will Vemu, whatever moo it's called. I'll moocow it to you. I will moocow you $1.99. You burn the autograph. Send a picture of me doing it, and I will plaster it all over the show. Freezing here at Arizona, New Orleans at 67. It's like 40 here. And we're getting rain. Did you see what Mitch was upgraded to questionable? No, I didn't see. No, I did not see that. I did not see that. Am I the only one who heard Mara whisper April Fools when he was talking about drafting another quarterback? Zacatech says, I think the combine and pro days are to see if players have good fundamentals. I believe that too. Blazin says it's 47 degrees, and here in Maryland, Pennsylvania is about 40-something degrees there. Let's see. There was a content creator that made a video saying the Giants owe Daniel Jones an apology. Who was that? I'm just curious. Who was that? JJ does not look off defensive backs and linebackers. We don't know. He's only threw 659 passes in 2 years. Alexander says, I'm fine with getting a wide receiver at 6, but boy, you better. I'm still saying that. I'm going to keep saying that. You're going to go get a wide receiver at 6. You better figure out a way to get Penix. Because Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, or Tommy DeVito throwing to any wide receiver you draft is the kiss of death. Ask some guy named Hyatt. Mike Lee says, what's good is drafting a wide receiver if we don't have a quarterback to throw the ball to him. Laugh. I am becoming a Steelers fan since the Pittsburgh area. The Steelers are more interesting now. Even though Steelers fans hate Tomlin since 2018. I don't get the whole hate with Tomlin either. You're right. They hate Tomlin. Not all Steelers fans. All he does is win and take it to the playoffs and never have a losing season. That guy fucking sucks. And I love it. I just love Pittsburgh, though. You're right. Rule changes in reference to kickoff. What's the first thing they do? Like 2 minutes later, they go out and get Cordell Patterson. I think Waller is waiting to see if they draft a quarterback and not think he's willing to play. I would think he's willing to play with I don't think he's willing to play with DJ. I don't think he's willing to play with DJ. Bladen says, I respect you, Tim, because you always think critically and you give it to us straight. Salute. Thank you, sir. Joe Shane Train says, I see us drafting a wide receiver next year in 2025. Then who are they going to take this year? Mr. Alvarez says the wide receiver class is deep versus a top-heavy quarterback draft. I'd reach for Penix at 6. I would rather reach for Penix at 6 if the top quarterbacks aren't there. Draft the wide receiver in the second round. You have a quarterback wide receiver draft this year. If you truly want to grab Penix at 6, I don't have a problem with it. As long as you jump back up and try to get a wide receiver then, because that makes sense. Getting someone like Penix and not having Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson as your starters, that doesn't make sense to me. Make sure you hit the like. We've only gone up 7-8. Us drafting a wide receiver in the second round in 2024 draft, I can see that. I must trade down and get a lineman. Who are we gonna get? Who do you want to get, Frankie? Nick says I'm gonna want a quarterback, but I don't see them getting one, and JJ isn't at 6. I agree. Mike Lee says you don't see the line because you crossed to the mile. That if it wasn't true, if it wasn't so true, it'd be funny. May or Daniels might drop. I prefer Daniels because I do think May is Eli Daniel Jones 3.0, but with a better arm and is more athletic. But I'm fine with either or. Be honestly, I would, and I love JJ McCarthy. Happens. There's a shot for that, I think. Maybe the coaches have a quarterback killer. Maybe the coaches have been the quarterback killer. No. Because I heard 2 years ago that Dable saved Jones's career by having him throw for 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. Trade for Hooker. No, they're not giving up Hooker. Lions aren't giving up. Just into all the Knicks from Mitch fan is back tonight. Woj he is back tonight. Mitchie the kid's gonna come back. Yeah, what the hell's wrong with Julius Randle? We're hitting almost the point of no return with Randle. If he's gonna have the surgery now. Get ready for next year, and we'll just ride up the playoffs of what we can do. We're already in the play-in. I think we're still sitting 4th with the win the other night. That would be cool, though. If they drafted Malik Willis, we would have been saved. You never know. How do you know that? You drafted Daniel Jones and gave him 5 years. You're taking Malik Willis and basing it off of 4 games as a rookie with a team that arguably had the worst offensive line and no wide receivers 2 years ago. So that makes sense. Is that why you're a realist? Got another word for it too. Tim, get the bail money ready. I'm gonna be a menace when Daniel Jones hits the unemployment line. Tim, I'm younger. Just wondering why the Giants play in New Jersey and not New York. The Giants for years played in the weirdest places in New York. And back in the day, there was really not the Mariners had a problem finding a place for the Giants to play. And the place that was open that had cheap land and had the opportunity for them was in East Rutherford. And they wanted to build a new stadium, but historically it's difficult to build a new stadium in New York itself. So basically what happened is the Giants first built the stadium. People forget that. It was not a dual stadium. So the Mariners decided they were looking for a place. They looked for a place in a lot of different places. And honestly, they couldn't find anything. And there was a lot of state politics going on in New York at the time in reference to them building a new stadium. So really what happened is they went down to it was the New Jersey Sports Authority. And this was in the back of the 70s. And you got to remember, the Giants were sharing Yankee Stadium at one point with the Yankees. You also had the Jets at Shea at one point in time. And they basically they just struck a deal with the New Jersey Sports Authority in 1971. They did this in 71. They didn't break ground till 72, I think it was. And the first game was in 76. And for them, then they had to play in Connecticut, and they played in the Yale Bowl in 73. Then 74, they played like in Shea. As well as also. So it took them 8 years to build the stadium, but they just had so many political issues with the state of New Jersey itself, New York itself, that they then just turned around and just said, listen, we're going to cut a deal with these guys. It also gave you a better way to have an avenue, especially off of Jersey Turnpike, for traffic. And it still gave you the avenue to bring in the fans from New York as well. Let's see. FIFL has grass turf hybrid for cooler stats. I didn't know that. Let's see here. Watched an NFL Network mock draft. They have Drake May available at 6, and yet they expect the Giants to still take a wide receiver. I can see that too. Does anyone buy from me a Jones jersey for cheap? Listen, I'm already going to give the one guy $1.99 for a Jones jersey. Joe Shane Train, if you burn your Jones jersey, don't burn it, because you know what? That's even worse. If you donate it to charity, go to a charity shop, donate it. I will send you $5. Waller, just catch the ball and juke and run. His autograph is worth a box of plain Cheerios. I like Cheerios. Cutthroat, man, why are you knocking Cheerios? We would have to have less football games, at least if we only had been told the Jets to go build their own stadium. The Giants didn't have the financing for the 1 point whatever billion. And the New Jersey Sports Authority had already allowed the lease, the co-lease with them. The Giants were with the Meadowlands, so that's why they had it. The Giants didn't have the money to build a stadium on their own. They needed financial help either from the city or the municipality or the state, and they weren't going to get anybody from the state of New York. I believe it was Bad Dog who had an apology video. I believe the channel is Gunji what or something like that. I don't know. What are we talking about? What did I miss? My concern is that JJ is I never saw them rely on him to throw. That's what I agree. They never said JJ put us on your back and carry us. And they were like, hold on. Yes. In 7 minutes. Sorry. Missed text. Don't cry, SpongeBob. SpongeBob's texting me. Yeah, and I love it because people are like, well, he carried the team in the Toledo game, which they lost. Mike, what's up, Big Matt says, can we get more draft capital for this draft at this point since we trade the same anyway? Trade some away anyways. We could, but we need players. I don't want to be a player no more. Steeler fans are not like Tomlin or the Braves fans when they expect to make the playoffs and want the trophy. And like Yankee fan too. Zach Attack says, why does everyone want Penix in the second round? He won't get past. He's not getting past the Raiders. Joe Rev says, Tim, how long has it been since the Giants made sense? Well, you got to say 2012, I guess. Because they won the 2011 season, but you don't play Super Bowl till the following year, technically. So I'm going to say 2012. Matthew says the thing with JJ is he can develop. Daniel Jones hasn't been able to because he has never had a top pedigree. JJ could be a step above that or take it to if he develops. He's got tools. Baseball talk. Listen, if they literally want JJ McCarthy at 6 and he's there and that's their guy, I may not like it, but I support it. I don't like Daniel Jones more. So I would support taking Sam Hartman at 6 than I would having another year with Daniel Jones. I would take Joe Milton at 6 instead of having another year with Daniel Jones. Keep him out of the playoffs, and we'll see how it goes from there. Frank says JJ's targets were wide open because of the running game. Past 12 p.m. Past the vodka. Make sure it's Belvedere. They both suck, says John Realist. Pimp name sucks back. Does anyone know why the MLB had the opening game randomly last week, Thursday, and now officially opening day? I don't understand it. They always have that like start of the season game, and then it's like a week before they actually start the season. Hi, Irish Rover. I'm still trying to find out what the Giants are going to do. What's up, what's up, RJ? Or is that Junior or JR? Is that JR or Junior? I'm assuming it's going to be Junior because it's one is a lowercase. I don't know. Sauce Frankie Stadium. My Giants Stadium is rebuilt from my bedroom window. Thanks, hun. I need to run. Have a good day. Don't run. Walk. Joe Milton is projected to the Jets. Why AER 15 gets projected so high when Joe Milton is a late round pick? They both have similar stats. Not saying that because you love Joe Milton. Lol. Chill Daddy says, I'm just here to say, Tim. I'm just here to hear Tim Dookie on other content creators. Listen, people ask me a question. I answer the question. I always tell people, you don't want me to answer the question, don't ask the question. I'm not one of these people that you ask me something, I'm like, well, what I'm going to tell you is this is going to be like the answer I'm going to give you, but it's going to be like the roundabout answer of not answering the question. No, you ask me a straight question, I give you a straight answer. That's, Rod Tidwell says it best. That's the ABCs of me, baby. That's the ABCs of me. So if you ask me a content creator question, I'm going to ask it. You ask me a giant question, I'm going to ask you. You ask me a question about the Jets, I'm going to answer it. You ask me a question about anything, I'm going to give you an answer.
These are the ABCs of me, baby.
Joe Biden was asked to describe our season in one word. He said, I think you can get the Vikings or the Jets to move the 6. Jaden stock might be dropping. Let's see how it shakes out. Pimp says, I tried to donate my Jones jerseys Goodwill. They called the cops on me. Hey, yo. Thanks for the stadium info. I was not aware of that. Yes, the Giants just didn't want to. Zach knew where I was going with that one. Happy wife equals happy life. Yes, I'm gonna have lunch with my wife in 2 minutes. Talk with Zoe says that's a big reason I can't see the Giants drafting Penix. It nullifies Andrew Thomas. Well, of course, some people are gonna be like, well, move Andrew Thomas to the right tackle position. That's coming. So, what's up, my brother? How you doing? JJ would be a draft off the potential alone. I agree. Went to the bedroom and tripped. Remind you of anyone?
It's Daniel Jones at the 5. It's Daniel Jones at never mind.
The Giant content creators equal PR safe answers. James Fisher said, can we still sign Simmons? We don't have cap space. We don't have the cap. I wish we did. I keep telling people, when you remove the rule of 51, you take a look at the rookie draft pool. You factor also in the there's a couple other issues you need to think about, especially practice squad players and some other things. And you remove all that, and with taking a look at the current contract values, the Giants are going to be about negative $20 million with Joe Shane's additional $10 million operational cap space, plus the restructure of Dexter Lawrence. After the cap breaks, you're going to be about negative $20 million. We got a lot of work to do, guys. Speaking of a lot of work, I'm going to go hang out have lunch with the missus. Hope everyone had themselves a great day, a fun day. It was always fun coming in here and talking with everyone. I want to thank the 100-something people that have been watching us on the, whatever that's called, the YouTube sphere, the other 70-something that have been watching us on the Twitter sphere. Of course, there will be a video tomorrow. The video is called Carbon Copy. Wait to see it. It's a good one, guys. Check out also New York Giants Live. We got 2 guest writers coming on New York Giants Live, one starting tomorrow, and then next on Friday. And as always, I'd like to thank everyone for coming in, coming out, and you've been great, guys. As always, it's always been fun. It's always been wonderful talking to your Giants. Check out that new video, and then we'll see you again on Sunday. Truckosaurus, big stream, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with a